What's up, dudes? Max here. Something I've really wanted to go over the past few days because I've made some adjustments to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on the PC version, and many have been asking, what the hell did I exactly do? How can I do it? And what the process is exactly. So I'm gonna give you all a kind of direct comparison, the PlayStation version to the PC version, and then we're gonna compare the modified PC version to essentially what the game looks like the way I prefer it, which is a lot of adjustments to color, to resolution scaling, as well as a big adjustment to the way motion blur works on the characters, which I think adds quite a bit to the game. You might not like it, but I really do like it. The biggest thing is that the PC version of Marvel Infinite, I run in 4K and I superscale it kind of down to 1080p. So I don't even need a 4K monitor, it just makes your 1080p image, if it's running in 4K, just look that much better. And it does help. It helps with some of the jaggies and everything. I do not run anti-aliasing on the PC version of Marvel Infinite. But for a game that has such a kind of rough art style and not great looking characters, I do see some things that have been utilized in the engine of the game that I just don't agree with. There's an overall very fuzzy looking, kind of washed out image to Marvel Infinite on a lot of stages, and I do my best to try to get rid of that with some modified settings. So, let's just go over to the footage right now. We're going to take a look at the PlayStation 4 version and then directly compare it to the PC version and see what the hell's going on. So here's the PlayStation 4 version of Marvel Infinite. Should look very familiar to a lot of you guys, and it doesn't specifically it has exactly the problems I was just talking about. It's just a little fuzzy. Let's just watch like a super take place, and then we'll compare it to the PC version.
Now unify the world! Now meet your end! Bow down to me!
Alright, it should look fairly familiar to a lot of you guys, but that's the PS4 version. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the PC. PC version here should not look a lot different. All things considered, they're got some similar graphics parity. They're both going to be running in 60 frames per second. But the big thing with the PC version is that I'm now running at 4K, and hopefully you can actually see that difference. But let's just go ahead and take a look at the Super and give you an idea what it looks like.
Now unify the world! From Alpha to Omega! This is how the world should be! Miserable worm.
I will say, one of the things I do like about Marvel Infinite on PC is the higher resolution. It does help. Not all graphics cards will be able to do that. On some cinematic supers at like really close zoom-ins and a lot of effects, I do get a little bit of slowdown because I am running at 4K, 60 frames per second, and all the effects on. But it definitely helps the overall image quality. But like I said, a lot of the overall art style and the washed out look of the game is very apparent. So I'm going to go ahead and make some adjustments to the engine.ini file of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and in the description of this video, I'm going to put exactly what I pasted in, so you guys can take a look. But first, let's take a look at what the game looks like with some modified settings. Now, just to be clear, we're not actually technically replacing anything in Marvel Infinite at this point. We're only making adjustments to the Unreal 4 engine, which is what the game runs off. And just by making some small changes to the way contrast and brightness and color gradients kind of work in the engine, you can get a pretty big result. So right here, just for comparison's sake, we do have the console version up and running again. Let's go ahead and do another super with Sigma.
I'll end your life! Return to extinction!
I love this character so much. And now let's go over and check out the PC version. Immediately you can see the visual clarity between the two, this is the PS4, and then this is the PC, is kind of profound. Like, the image just has not as much fuzz on it. There is this overall sort of gray look that the PlayStation 4 version has, which is this one right here. And if we go back to the PC version, it's not really there. The other thing you're going to notice is that when the characters move around, it looks as if, well, the character movement's going to look a lot different. That's because we added a motion blur that doesn't as much affect the backgrounds as it does the characters, and that's through a couple of settings that I tweaked and messed with, and I think we got a pretty good result. So, let's go ahead and watch a Super with Sigma on the new PC version with some modified visuals. Not bad, right? Now let's try the level 3.
I will show you true despair! From Alpha to Omega! This is how the world should be! miserable worm.
Now, originally I had a lot of motion blur on this thing, and it was a little jarring to say the least. I was able to play the game still, but the motion blur was affecting the background so much that I just didn't like it. The motion blur that's in the game right now is more reminiscent to something like Mortal Kombat X or Injustice 2 and other Unreal Engine style fighting games that use motion blur. It's kind of like that right now. Although you do not have to use it if you don't want to. I just think that this looks pretty good in my opinion, and I kind of like it. You could really see it on a stage like this. It doesn't have any like bright lights on it or anything. It just looks dramatically different.
There's nowhere to run, not you.
Let's do something big with Monster Hunter.
Fight with a monster hunter. Big mistake. This is your end. So tasty.
I don't think that looks bad at all now. Let's try something with Dante.
Still want to fight? Unlock power inhibitor. Iron Avenger. Get ready. Here's my special.
Maxima!
Have no other choice. Power level rising. Ultimate stress.
Witness the power of a king. I fight for Valhalla! The weight on my shoulders gives me strength.
Hold that thought. Fire sale. Cows. The taste of the full course. Piece of cake. Other than blindfolded next.
So, a lot of you are probably asking, how the hell can I get my version of the game to look like that? Sadly, the PlayStation 4 version, you're completely out of luck. The game is the way it is, and you can't make any modifications, but the PC version? Oh my god, am I glad it exists. The first thing you'll want to do is to make your way to the engine.ini file that is available in your copy of Marvel Infinite. If this is in your Steam library, you should know where that is. Find where the game is actually saved to, and then it's under MVCI, saved, config, Windows, no editor, and in there you'll find engine.ini. But for me, I just go into here and then search engine.ini, and I find it just as easily that way. So here's what you're going to want to copy over, which I will put in the description of this video. You're going to find a file that has only this right here. Anything else that you see right here will probably not be there, but what you want to copy is this. System settings all the way down to MotionBlurSoftEdgeSize 2. Like I said, I've made some modifications to motion blur and how it actually works. And I found it to look pretty damn good currently on the PC version, but this also changes a lot about ambient occlusion, color, brightness, and contrast, as well as overall just brightness and fringe that appears. It's a lot of tiny things that just makes the game look a lot better. You really don't need to do anything special, just copy these settings in and you can actually get Marvel Infinite looking great. I think there's a motion blur that's in the game by default, but I don't see it at all. In fact, there's really no effect of it even when it's turned on. So with this system settings, man, the game just does look a hell of a lot better. That's about it I got for you guys right now. This is what you will be looking at on this channel quite a bit from this point going forward because, man, the PC version just looks great. Not to mention the fact that you can modify in music and sounds and a lot of other really easy things by just dropping pack files in, and that is no problem at all. But we're not changing anything of the game. That's the important thing to realize. We're just changing the way things look on our end. It doesn't affect the other users that are online, and it really shouldn't affect you in any way unless you're getting performance issues as a result of motion blur. In that case, it might not be a great idea, so I recommend doing things like changing the ambient occlusion and going with the other settings. You simply would just delete the things that say motion blur if that's the case. But that's what I've been doing for the PC version of this game. I'm sure people will find even things that are better. I've seen Reshade do some amazing stuff with comic book outlines on some characters, giving characters the proper Ultimate Marvel 3 look, which is what everyone really wanted. I hope that does get some headway eventually because I do love the way that stuff looks, and it can make the game look even better. But I just hope that this eventually gets to someone somewhere at Capcom that has the ability to make some decisions that the game has a very dry look to it, and along with the art style, the graphics themselves actually really aren't bad when you get to see it on a PC version like this. It's just complemented by some of the weird looking characters, as well as that weird faded look the game has, it just doesn't help. So I don't know if it's a change that can be made for the future versions of Marvel Infinite, if there is even going to be support for this game. It's just something that's very nice to look at in comparison to what we're used to for MVCI, and I hope you guys get something out of it as well. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I appreciate a thumbs up. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.